Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. Today, we from Group 12 would like to present our HEROT form SETK3552 Section 4. Our group consists of 4 members, which is me, Fatharin bin Faizal Nur, Muhammad Ashraf bin Muhammad Sofi, Aziz Rafri bin Afzal Nizam, and Muhammad Ikmal Hakim bin Zainuddin. Fair warning, this video is made solely for learning purposes only and it is not meant for any industrial practicing. A rough introduction of our video is about the Grupo Mexico toxic spillage that occurred in Sonora. The Buena Vista del Cobre was the mine that caused the spill, and it is considered to be one of the worst environmental disasters in national mining history in Mexico.
For my part, I'll be explaining about the chronological order of the accident. Buena Vista del Cobre chemical spill can be considered one of the worst environmental disasters in national mining history of Mexico. The Buena Vista del Cobre mine releases around 40,000 cubic meter of sulfuric acid into the Bachanuchi and Sonora rivers, contaminating water used by around 24,000 inhabitants. The chemical spill has caused a lot of damage to the basic sector, such as agriculture, stock breeding, mining, tourism, and handicraft. This is because the activities are stopped because of the toxic heavy metal. As a result of the contamination, the company has dumped around 100 tons of lime into the Sonora River to neutralize the acidity. But certain activists said that the lime that has been dumped into the river is not enough to neutralize the acid. Moving on to the next one, the general workflow. The general workflow has 4 steps. The first one is classify work activities. Second one is identify hazard. The third one is conduct risk assessment. And the fourth one is decide if risk is tolerable and apply risk control measures. Now I'll pass to my friend.
So next we will start with hierarchy of control that start with elimination, that is physically remove the hazard, and then is proceed with the substitution, that is replace the hazard with less harmful one, and then proceed with engineering controls, that is isolate the people from the hazard, and proceed with administrative control, that is change the way people work with the hazard, and the last one is PPE, that is protect the worker with personal protective equipment as the last step. And next is the relative assessment. So for the relative assessment, we need to calculate the relative risk with the likelihood times severity. So for likelihood, we start with the highest, that is the most likely, that is the result of hazard being realized. Then it's possibly possible, that is a good chance of occurring and it's not unusual. And then next is conceivable, that is might be occur at some time in future. Proceed with remote, that has not been known to occur after many years. And the last one is inconceivable, that is practically is possible and never occurred. So for the severity, we start with catastrophic, that is numerous fatalities. Fatal is approximately one single fatality. Serious is not fatal injury, while permanent disability. Minor is disability but no permanent injury. And negligible is minor abrasion and with first aid type injury. So after we know the likelihood and severity, we can calculate the relative risk. So for the relative risk, that is the high is 15 to 25. Medium is 5 to 12, and the low is 1 to 4.
Alright, next is the hierarchy form. Here is an example of the upper part of the hierarchy form, which need to be filled and make it as simple as possible. First, we need to list down the company, work process, location, conducted by, and the conducted date. In our case, our company is Group Mexico. What is the work about, which is the mining, and conducted by who, Mr. A and Mr. B, who is the supervisor and operator respectively, and approved by Mr. C here, usually the occupational safety and health officer. Alright, here is the hierarchy form, which is firstly we need to identify hazard identification, we need to list down the risk analysis, and the third one is the risk control. In our case is, what is the hazard identification? Is the activity is the failure of a seal on a polyethylene pipe in one of the leachate ponds. Actual and potential hazard is spillage of copper sulfate acid solution. Sorry about the typo there. Sulfate acid solution. And what can it cause? we will cause economical damage to the basic sector of agriculture, stock breeding, mining, etc. And we need to do the analysis. Existing control measure here is none because it is still under construction, but the worker there have done the work before the construction finished. So the likelihood here is number 3, which is conceivable, might be occur sometimes in the future, and severity is 3, which is serious because non-fatal injury or permanent disability. And the risk level A times B is 9, which is medium. A medium risk require a planned approach to control the hazard and a plus temporary measure if required. So the risk control is here. We propose 2 additional or recommended control measure, which is first is using a puncture-proof tank and install valve to avoid the leakage. And secondly is install secondary containment to keep chemical from entering the surrounding. So I think that's all from our group. Thank you for listening.